Jesus Revolution is what happens when you combine faith-based hair, the Fabelmans, and about a dozen other things into one movie. For the first act of it, I really was with it, especially with its focus on Kelsey Grammer as Pastor Chuck Smith, a curmudgeon who's had enough of these dang hippies till his daughter brings one home, and the hippies are looking for a place of worship, so he lets them all in, much to the of the older church crowd. Sure, it feels less like a 70s political sitcom and more like a 90s family sitcom, but it felt like one I would watch. Because damn, Kelsey Grammer is just one of the greatest. Like in everything else, he sells his role here. Between Grammer and the hippie Lonnie Frisbee, they had enough material here for a movie. Unfortunately, the movie also tries to do several other things, and the more it goes on, the more each character just kinda drifts in and out of it. This is less like an ensemble and more like they had ideas for a ton of potential plots for a movie about the Jesus Revolution, and unfortunately included all of them. There isn't much of a flow. It's really a series of plot points strung together. Some come out of nowhere, and some just exit the movie. A year will go by, and it'll just feel like a short time, and then it'll feel like a while has passed, but it's just been a few days. Another part of the movie has to do with teen Greg Laurie, played by Joel Courtney, who falls in with the bad hippies who sit around and do drugs all day. And their leader's name is Charlie. Every time they said this character's name, I was like, is this just a coincidence? Is this gonna take a turn? He doesn't really act like Charles Manson, he acts more like James Franco in a stoner movie. Works out, because the other hippies in the movie act like Owen Wilson.
This house has a very good vibe.
But this guy just disappears from the film and is never mentioned again, so who knows? Eventually, of course, Greg finds his way with the Christian hippies, and a lot of this feels like an after-school special, but way better acted. It's even got stern polo shirt wearing mustache dad with his fingers always in his pocket, who when his daughter comes home late, he says, "You're gonna wake up in an alley with a needle in your arm!" I do like some stuff with Lonnie, like how as the movie goes on, the more he thinks he actually is akin to Jesus and tries healing people with his touch. Which is funny because the actor also plays Jesus on The Chosen. The movie is heavy-handed where you think it would be. There is some bad dialogue. It's certainly cheesy, and it has a soundtrack you'd expect from a movie like this that takes place in '68. Like an opening scene that says, "Let me tell you where it all began." Then it cuts and starts playing I Just Want to Celebrate by Rare Earth. The rebellious daughter is listening to War, What Is It Good For? There's a montage with Jesus Is Just Alright With Me. And when things get serious, it plays House of the Rising Sun. I'm surprised Spirit in the Sky wasn't on the playlist. I was trying to find an avenue to recommend this. It does start out as a nice film with heart, but the more it went on, the less it was working. And sadly, there's also something a little disingenuous about it, and does a pretty big disservice to one of its characters, all of whom based on real people. This is a movie that preaches acceptance and says, look at how great we are for inviting these hippies in, but completely leaves out that one of its main characters was a struggling gay man who was excommunicated and died of AIDS at the age of 43. The last time we see him here, he says, well, me and my wife are going off to California. It doesn't even mention that they divorced in the early 70s. All it says at the end is, he died in 1993, and that's it. Long story short, you'd be better off watching a way more nuanced documentary about these people and this movement. For the acting and the first act, it's a C, but I'm sure its target audience will like it. Thanks for watching, everyone, and stay tuned tomorrow because we'll have a review for Cocaine Bear, and we'll see you then.